Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, let's just dive on in. And let's first start off with the fact that DCENT Wallets is holding a major event right now until November 16th. If you purchase a DCENT wallet, I'm going to drop a link down in the description below, as well as in the comments below. If you guys go and get a DCENT wallet right now, you can actually fill out a form on their website. It's at the top, where they are giving away 200 Algorand right now. And as you guys are all aware, if Algorand does make it back to $1 plus, the all-time high was nearly $3. That means that your 200 Algorand could very well be worth $200 to $400, which would cover the DCENT wallet fully and essentially give you a free cold storage wallet. So if you guys do want to take advantage of this massive offer from DCENT Wallet, you guys are more than welcome to, with the links down in the description below, as well as in the comments below. It's going to be at the top, just to make sure that you guys don't miss it. So if you guys do want to go get this, it's a limited time only. I highly suggest everybody go out and get a DCENT wallet right now, especially as we prepare for the next major run up in the market. Now, with that being said, you guys probably did watch the video from earlier today. If you guys didn't, it's okay. But basically, we were talking about Rosie Rios. We were talking about a few things as well, and addressing some of the changes happening around our current financial system. And I found a few clips that I do want to play for you guys real quick. And this one is going all the way back to July. It did get posted by Riz XRP, and it did get quoted by Chad Steingraber over on Twitter. But we just see intergenerational wealth transfer is happening. Listen closely to this clip, and then we are going to address a few things after the fact.
When you think about the intergenerational wealth transfer that's going to go on, what do you think about?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And if you're only thinking about it now, you're behind the eight ball. The train has left the station. I keep saying that, and it's absolutely true, especially when it comes to this topic. So what people need to realize about intergenerational wealth is it's already happening, right? So we're talking about kind of, so the boomers, which is my generation, you know, we have the most discretionary income. But this next generation, basically, you know, the millennials, although it's pretty much anyone born in the mid-90s and later, you know, are going to inherit this opportunity to really think about investments in a totally different way. So when you think about those generations, so technically, you know, the millennials or anyone born between 1980 and 1996. But again, look, my son's 26, my daughter's 21. I call them the Robin Hood investor, right? But in reality, you know, these are kids who grew up with the internet. Right? So anyone who's grown up with the internet, they see the world as very flat. It's no longer what they're taught at home or what they're taught in the classroom. It's what they see. It's what they've learned, the good, the bad, the ugly of the internet. They're very tech savvy, they're very confident, but they don't have the experience that perhaps a lot of wealth managers, financial analysts, managers, etc. need to really understand how to think about their investments. So for me, you know, it was very important that I get into their heads. My daughter's 21, my son is 26. When I left the Obama administration in 2016, after serving both terms, I studied these kids, I call them kids, for 2 years at Harvard. And I really wanted to understand kind of the social, political, economic way that they think and how they behave. And for them, you know, it's kind of this one and done world, right? It's set it and forget it. Right. Technology means everything to them. They're very, very confident, they're very progressive, and they're very savvy. But again, they lack a lot of the world experience that my generation still has. So even here now in this economic downturn, this unprecedented economic downturn, this is where, in my opinion, the wealth management industry has a huge opportunity. It's no longer about taking them out to golf and buying them dinner. It's really kind of thinking about how to use technology and information in a totally different way. So if you're not already on their app, on their phone, and that's how they access information, if you're not already there, you know, you're behind. You're behind.
And there you guys have it. And again, like, we are seeing a major shift happening right now, especially around wealth. Me personally, whenever I look at, you know, the wealth transfer itself, the best way to really kind of address this is we are going to see a lot of wealth being passed down, but I do think that a lot of that wealth is most likely going to be tokenized. I think that that's going to move digital, but even if it doesn't, I still believe that the wealth transfer is going to happen. I think that this is going to be a very large one as well. And listen, don't take my word for it. Take Rosie Rios' word for it, for an example. But outside of this, we also know that crypto means business. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this clip up is this is from October 24th. This got posted by XRP Drops. And yes, we also do have Rosie Rios up here. I do want to play the Brad Garlinghouse one. And then I also want to play Rosie Rios because it's going to allow us to go into the next few segments that I do want to go over in this video.
Transform finance businesses today in a few different ways. And I think one of the challenges for the industry has been to focus on solving real problems for real customers. And Ripple, obviously, from its earliest days, focused on the problem around cross-border payments. That's a point of a lot of friction as measured by speed and cost. And by focusing there, we've been able to have a big impact on that, relatively small piece. But I think over the next years, you're going to see many financial transactions where a middleman sits, a middle transaction, an intermediary. Those will get removed, and we'll use blockchain and other digital asset type technologies to remove that friction. And I think all of society will benefit from improving the efficiency of those systems. I think you'll see that. Certainly, you've seen it in securities settlement as an opportunity. The financial transactions around bonds, around derivatives. A lot of these things take a while to settle, and the friction associated actually holds back the industry. Insurance is an industry I think you're going to see touched. Trade finance is an industry that really Ripple, some of our customers have invited us to participate in. And you've seen experimentation around identity in real estate and title management. And these are all examples where I think it's so hard to predict where this will go, in the same way that 25 years ago, when I first got involved in the Internet of Information, I never could have predicted on my smartphone I'd press a button and I'd have a car picking me up minutes later. I think this will permeate lots of different parts of our society.
And there you guys have it. And again, this is going to disrupt every single aspect of society. And I really do think that it all starts with payments. I actually think that payments is going to be the biggest and probably the start of the mass adoption of this technology. But we're already kind of starting to see trade finance being disrupted by this and many other industries. But also, here you guys have Rosie Rios and what she had to say regarding, of course, crypto meaning business.
I'm Rosie Rios, former Treasurer of the United States and current board member of Ripple. What I like to talk about is really kind of this intersection between government and innovation. Certainly coming from the Bay Area, born and raised in Silicon Valley, I've seen a lot of change over time. And what I love is the conversation is really starting to happen in a constructive way, where I think we as a region, we as a country, and perhaps we as a globe can really think about the future of fintech and who the stakeholders are and how we can make this effective for everyone. So when you think about growth, it's not just kind of GDP growth, which of course is a big part of the economy, but it's also where new growth comes from. And that usually comes from, certainly lately, in technology and innovation. So I think the benefit of why business and government should be working together is, again, providing that level of certainty for further expansion, further growth, and certainly more jobs for the economy. So blockchain is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And so it's not just how to facilitate commerce. There are other applications, whether it's NFTs, whether it's, selling real estate, whether it's, any type of financial ledger that can be recorded for posterity's sake. This is here to stay. And it's important and incumbent upon the government at every level, whether it's local, whether it's state, whether it's national, to really give some thought as to how those applications are going to benefit them and benefit everyone. But I think what's most important is, what are those guardrails? What are those tracks that we can lay down in order to move forward in a way that really blazes the trail for future growth and future opportunities that we don't even know are there yet?
So there you guys have it. And, as we really kind of look at the world, we already have standardization and regulations really kind of streamlining this push towards crypto. We still have some work to do, obviously, but we are getting there, right? Every single day, we are getting closer and closer to the final move regarding, of course, adopting crypto. But it's going to happen in time. It's going to take some time. It's going to be, this sort of it's going to be this weird sort of movement in the market, meaning what we're going to most likely see is one more cycle of unregulated crypto assets, and then we will transition into a bear market where we also do see the regulatory plans unfold. Again, we could see regulations at any moment. I've always said that, this is something that we don't really, we can't really predict. We already know that the G20 is working with some very large global organizations on crypto regulatory frameworks, with, of course, players like even Ripple. And we know that their goal is the end of 2025. So if it's the end of 2025, or if maybe it's the end of 2024, it could be anywhere within the next 2 years. So it's definitely interesting to see a lot of things unfolding on this front. But just like she is saying, you know, this market and what we're seeing around the space, like, we are starting to see maturity. We're starting to see the real use cases thriving. And it gets me to my next segment here, which was this video from November 8th, which was a quote saying the next generation of blockchain coming will be institution grade to support for real-time payments of the whole world. We're going to see a flip from pure play crypto to real world use cases. And I wanted to just bring this quote up again because, you know, as we do look at Ripple and XRP, they are at the forefront of institutional grade adoption. Just recently, you know, they were working with HSBC on institutional grade custody services. Now, the reason why I brought this back up is because as we do look at institutional grade custody services, think about what happens next, right? Because if we're having the institutions, you know, having these custody services for tokenized securities, well, guess what? That means that they want to settle those tokenized securities on chain. So now we look at the settlement layer. All right, what's, you know, settling these currencies? All right, that's right, XRP. And then when we look at the tokenization aspect and the settlement aspect, well, now what we really kind of want to look at is what other use cases are they going to explore? Are they going to allow for digital banking? Are they going to allow for digital wallets for, you know, mass population adoption? You know, this is what I really kind of look at when we talk about institutional grade applications like even custody services, because although this might just be custody services, you got to think about what else this is going to blossom into. And this is also why I say, like, Ripple's at the forefront of the institutional side of adoption, which is very exciting. But then also we've seen a big announcement today, which was this. So this goes back to actually the 10th, but I'm bringing it up in this video because it is a significant announcement. We do see from Payment Infrastructure News breaking, according to market participants and reporters, the EU agreement on instant payments harbors a SEPA bomb because non-banks are also to be given access to payment systems in the ECB infrastructure in future, a massive expansion of competition. And we do see down here, the Parliament negotiating team also secured that under certain conditions, fintech companies will be granted direct access to the ECB's payment infrastructure, so they won't have to pay banks anymore to do it for them. This is actually a pretty big move, and it really kind of undermines the idea that SEPA was going to be delayed in terms of ISO 20022. We do see over here that the European Parliament has reached an agreement requiring EU banks to provide instant payments at no extra cost, making Euro instant transfers more affordable and available to consumers and businesses across the EU. The new rules secure the immediate arrival of transferred funds to bank accounts of both retail customers and businesses in the EU, following a deal struck between European Parliament negotiators and the Spanish presidency. This is actually pretty big. This is a big deal. And we do see down here that, according to the European Parliament, an instant credit transfer is supposed to be executed regardless of the day or hour and immediately processed so that the payee's payment account is credited with the amount transferred within 10 seconds after receipt of the payment order. Within 10 seconds, the payer should also be informed about whether the transferred funds have been made available to the payee. So 10 seconds. I know something that's faster. What do you see down here? That with this initiative, EU banks are obliged to provide instant payment services to clients at no extra cost under strict deadlines. Customers will enjoy smoother payment options, businesses will face lower costs, and the EU payment systems as a whole will become more competitive. The Parliament negotiating team also secured that under certain conditions, fintech companies will be granted direct access, so they won't have to pay banks anymore to do it for them. Charges applied by the PSP on payers and also payees in respect to, instant credit transfer transactions in euros cannot be higher than the charges applied to credit transfer transactions in euros, the European Parliament's data as well. So definitely some pretty big changes happening on the financial front, but instant payments right now, it's all the rave. It's the big focus, but we still don't have instant settlement. Like, these payments are getting faster, but we're not getting instant settlement. When are we going to upgrade and update the settlement layer? I believe that that's what we are waiting for. And I also believe that that's what we're gearing up for. And I also think that that's where a lot of the big moves are going to be made. First off, we do still need standardization. ISO 20022 is launching. Outside of standardization, we need regulations. Again, that's launching. It's on the forefront. Like, I don't understand how anyone that is a utility maxi in the space can't be getting excited right now, because everything is aligning perfectly. Everything is aligning perfectly. The stage is being set for XRP to really kind of become a major player. And of course, Ripple as a company, well, they're going to be a dominant force globally. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.